I watched a woman walk out of a salon last week with a pixie cut that made her look 15 years older than when she walked in. And the heartbreaking part? She had no idea. She was smiling, thanking the stylist, completely unaware that one simple mistake during that cut had just aged her dramatically. Here's what nobody tells you about pixie cuts after 60. They can be absolutely transformative and take years off your face, or they can be devastating and add a decade in minutes. The difference comes down to 7 very specific mistakes that most stylists either don't know about or won't tell you. And if you're thinking about getting a pixie or if you already have one, you need to know these mistakes before you sit in that chair. One of them is so counterintuitive that even I was shocked when I learned it. Ready to find out what they are? Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to Glow at Every Age, where we talk about the real beauty secrets that actually work for women who've earned every single one of their years. If you're new here, welcome to our community of women who refuse to fade into the background. We believe in looking current, feeling confident, and doing it all without needing a celebrity budget. And to my wonderful returning viewers, thank you for being here week after week. Your comments, your transformations, your honest feedback, that's what keeps this channel real and helpful. Today's video came from your requests. So many of you have been asking about pixie cuts, and I'm finally giving you everything you need to know. Here's what we're doing today. I'm walking you through 7 specific mistakes that can turn a potentially amazing pixie cut into an aging disaster. And more importantly, I'm telling you exactly how to avoid each one, so you can get a pixie that makes you look fresh, modern, and years younger. Before we dive into these 7 mistakes, I need you to do something really quick. Hit that subscribe button right now. Here's why this matters so much. We create videos like this every single week, packed with honest, practical advice that you won't find anywhere else. But YouTube only shows our content to people who subscribe and engage. So when you hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell, you're making sure you never miss a tip that could change everything. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it helps us reach more women who desperately need this information. Alright, let's get into mistake number 1. So let's talk about pixie cuts. When they're done right, they're absolutely magical. They can take years off your face, make you look energetic and modern, and honestly, they're one of the most liberating haircuts you can get. But when they're done wrong, they can be harsh, aging, and unflattering. And the difference often comes down to these 7 mistakes. Mistake number 1. Going too short on the sides and back. This is the biggest mistake I see, and it's the one that instantly ages women. I'm talking about pixie cuts where the sides and back are buzzed or cut extremely short with clippers, leaving almost no hair at all. Here's why this ages you. When you go too short on the sides and back, you expose everything. Your scalp, any thinning, the shape of your head, your ears, your entire neck. And while some of these things might be fine, most women are self-conscious about at least one of them. But more importantly, extremely short sides create a harsh masculine line. There's no softness, no femininity, no grace. And that harshness emphasizes any hardness in your facial features or any lines and wrinkles. It works against you instead of for you. Here's what to do instead. Keep some length on the sides and back. Even if you want a short pixie, ask your stylist to leave at least ½ inch to 1 inch of length. This creates softness and femininity, while still giving you that fresh, short hair feeling. The key is to avoid the clipper cut. Tell your stylist you want the sides and back cut with scissors, not buzzed with clippers. This maintains texture and softness instead of creating that severe masculine look. Mistake number 2. Having no texture or layers on top. This mistake is when the top of your pixie is cut blunt and flat with no layers, no texture, no dimension. Everything is the same length on top, creating a helmet-like shape. Here's the problem. Flat, blunt pixies look dated. They immediately place you in the 80s or early 90s, and because there's no movement or texture, they emphasize any thinning in your hair and make your head look flat. Also, without texture on top, you can't create any height or volume, which is crucial for a flattering pixie. You need that lift at the crown to elongate your face and draw the eye upward. What should you do instead? Ask for layers and texture throughout the top and crown. The hair on top should have varying lengths that create movement and dimension. Your stylist should use point cutting or texturizing techniques to avoid blunt lines. The goal is to have enough length on top that you can style it with volume and movement. Generally, you want at least 2 to 4 inches of length at the crown that can be tousled, swept to the side, or styled with some height. This texture and layering is what makes a pixie look modern instead of dated, and youthful instead of aging. Mistake number 3: cutting harsh, severe lines around the face. This mistake happens when the pixie is cut with very precise, sharp lines around your face, especially around your cheeks and in front of your ears. Everything is cut to exact lengths with no softness or feathering. Harsh lines around the face are incredibly aging. They create a severity that emphasizes any hardness in your features. They draw attention to lines, wrinkles, and any sagging around your jawline and cheeks. Think about it this way. When we're young, everything about us is soft. Soft skin, soft features, soft hair. As we age, we naturally develop some hardness and angularity. The last thing you want is a haircut that amplifies that. So what's the solution? Ask for soft, feathered edges around your face. Instead of blunt lines, you want pieces that are point cut or razor cut to create softness. The hair around your face should have some wispy pieces, some variation in length, some intentional softness that frames your face gently instead of cutting into it with hard lines. Tell your stylist you want the edges feathered and textured, not blunt. This single change can transform an aging pixie into a flattering one. Mistake number 4: ignoring your face shape. This is a huge one that most people don't think about. Not every pixie works for every face shape, and getting the wrong pixie for your particular face can be incredibly unflattering. For example, if you have a round face and you get a pixie that's too short on the sides with no height on top, you're going to make your face look even rounder and wider. Or if you have a long face and you get a pixie with too much height at the crown, you're going to elongate your face even more. Here's what you need to know. Round faces need height at the crown and some length on the sides to create the illusion of length. Square faces need softness around the jawline and temples to soften angular features. Long faces need width and volume at the sides rather than height. Heart-shaped faces need fullness at the jawline to balance a wider forehead. Before you get a pixie, figure out your face shape. Then, talk to your stylist about how to customize the pixie to flatter your specific shape. A good stylist will adjust the proportions where the volume sits and where the length is concentrated based on what your face needs. Don't just show your stylist a picture of a pixie you like and assume it will work for you. Ask them to adapt that style to your face shape. Mistake number 5: choosing the wrong color or going too dark. Here's something most people don't realize. The cut and the color work together. You can have a perfectly cut pixie, but if the color is wrong, the whole thing falls flat or even ages you. The biggest color mistake with pixies is going too dark. Very dark hair against aging skin creates a harsh contrast that emphasizes every line, wrinkle, and shadow on your face. It makes you look tired and older. Also, solid, flat color with no dimension makes a pixie look dull and dated. You need some variation in tone to create depth and interest. Here's what to do instead. If you color your hair, go slightly lighter than you think you should. Lighter tones around your face soften your features and create a more youthful appearance. But here's the key: add dimension. This means highlights, lowlights, or a combination that creates depth and movement in your pixie. Even subtle variation in tone makes a massive difference. Talk to your colorist about face framing highlights or a subtle balayage that adds lightness and dimension. And if you're embracing your natural gray, make sure it's a beautiful silver or salt and pepper with some tonal variation, not a flat, dull gray. Color is just as important as the cut when it comes to a flattering pixie. Mistake number 6: not styling your pixie. This might surprise you, but one of the biggest mistakes is thinking that a pixie is wash and go with zero styling required. Some women get a pixie specifically because they think it will be effortless, and then they're disappointed when it looks flat or messy. Here's the truth. Every pixie needs some styling. Not a lot, but some. If you just wash it and let it air dry without any product or technique, it's going to look limp, shapeless, and honestly aging. The good news is that pixie styling is quick and easy once you know what to do. We're talking about 5 minutes max. Here's what you need: a lightweight volumizing mousse or texture spray, and either your fingers or a small round brush. When your hair is damp, apply the product at the roots, then either blow dry with your fingers, tousling the hair up and back to create volume, or use a small round brush to create lift at the crown. The goal is to avoid flatness. You want some height, some texture, some intentional messiness. That styled undone look is what makes a pixie modern and flattering. If you're not willing to spend 5 minutes styling your pixie, don't get one. Because an unstyled pixie will age you more than longer hair ever could. Mistake number 7. Not maintaining your pixie regularly. Here's the harsh reality about pixie cuts. They require maintenance. You need to get them trimmed every 3 to 4 weeks to keep the shape and prevent that grown-out, messy look. The biggest mistake is getting a pixie and then waiting 2 or 3 months between cuts. By that point, your pixie has lost its shape entirely. It's no longer a pixie. It's just awkward short hair that doesn't look intentional. And here's what happens when a pixie grows out without maintenance. All those beautiful proportions disappear. The sides get too long and start sticking out. The back gets bulky and loses its clean line. The top loses its shape and just flops around. You end up looking unkempt and dated. So before you commit to a pixie, ask yourself honestly if you're willing to go to the salon every 3 to 4 weeks. If that sounds like too much time or too much money, a pixie might not be for you. But if you're willing to commit to the maintenance, you'll have a hairstyle that always looks fresh, intentional, and polished. And that's worth the investment. Now, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Do you have a pixie cut? Are you thinking about getting one? Or have you had a pixie disaster in the past? Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your story might help someone else make a better decision. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Seriously, it helps us so much and it tells YouTube to show this content to more women who need it. And make sure you're subscribed because next week we're talking about the best pixie styles for different face shapes, and you're going to want to see that. Alright, let's bring this home. Here's what I want you to remember. A pixie cut can be absolutely transformative. It can make you look modern, fresh, energetic, and years younger. But only if you avoid these 7 mistakes. Don't go too short on the sides and back. Make sure you have texture and layers on top. Avoid harsh lines around your face. Choose a pixie that flatters your specific face shape. Get the color right with dimension and the right tone. Commit to styling it every day, even if it's just 5 minutes. And maintain it regularly every 3 to 4 weeks. When you get all of these things right, a pixie is magic. It's liberating, it's confidence boosting. And it's one of the most flattering haircuts you can have after 60. But when you get these things wrong, a pixie can be devastating. It can make you look older, harsher, and less polished than you did with longer hair. So if you're thinking about getting a pixie, take this video with you to the salon. Share it with your stylist. Have an honest conversation about your face shape, your hair texture, your lifestyle, and your commitment to maintenance. A pixie is not a decision to make lightly, but when it's the right decision with the right execution, it's absolutely worth it. I want to challenge you to something. If you already have a pixie, look at yourself honestly in the mirror. Are you making any of these 7 mistakes? If so, book an appointment and talk to your stylist about how to fix them. And if you're thinking about getting a pixie, don't just walk into a salon and ask for short hair. Do your research, know your face shape, find reference photos that work for your features, and most importantly, make sure you're ready for the commitment. What's your biggest concern about getting a pixie? What's holding you back? Or if you have one, what do you love most about it? Share in the comments because your perspective might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for being part of this incredible community of women who believe that every age is the perfect age to look and feel amazing. You deserve a hairstyle that celebrates who you are right now. And if that's a pixie, I hope this video gave you the tools to make it the best pixie possible. Until next time, keep glowing, keep growing, and remember, the right pixie cut doesn't hide your age. It highlights your confidence. Take care, my friends.